And Azure Devops as well. So Azure Devops used to be Visual Studio Team Services, and Microsoft have now come up with Azure Devops to rename that. And you can use ARM templates, PowerShell, Azure CLI, everything with Azure DevOps, so anything automation. So you can create private repositories to store your custom files and scripts. So if anyone's kind of using GitHub at the moment to store your scripts or your projects, you can store them in Azure DevOps if you're looking to use this technology. Again, it's private. You need access keys to access it, so it's really secure, and it's exactly the same as GitHub in a secure way. If it's private, you need to specify access keys in your scripts to get that information from there. And of course, you can set all your role-based access control permissions on there to make sure that only certain people can have access to certain parts. You can create pipelines with various stages for your automated deployments. So your first stage could be, for example, you want to get artifacts or what they call resources from that private repository and store it in the pipeline. So that's getting everything you need for your future automation build, and it stores it within that pipeline so it can refer back to it when it needs it. You could then, as part of your pipeline, have a PowerShell script to create the resource group. So if you want to target your pipeline or automation deployment to a certain resource group, you could create the resource group with PowerShell and then run your ARM template as a separate step after that's happened. And also you can have kind of approval gates. So if we talk about a multi-stage deployment, you may want your business to go through like a test, UAT, and then production stage. So you could deploy your resources to the test stage. You can then have your manager looking at that thinking, oh, I'll approve that can go into the UAT stage, and if it gets rejected, then you can send a custom message back to your development team saying that something's wrong at the testing phase, can you fix this before it gets approved into production? So it gives you that customization and also the security and peace of mind that everything's going through an approval process before it goes into production. And also really important as well, a record of what's been deployed and changed. So you might find that something's been deployed through DevOps and it's broken an environment, and you want to make sure you've got a trail of where that builds come from, who's deployed it, so you can go and speak to the individual and just understand why it broke it and how you can revert the change to get business back as usual. And this is also important for us. So for customers, whenever we do these kind of automated builds for a greenfield deployment or an additional spoke, some customers will ask for the kind of history and the trail and also the templates that we use for this. So we give the customer the templates which shows everything that's been deployed, and who's deployed it, and then it's gone through a process then, and they've got historic records that show when this was deployed and why, etc.